quote according to our size, given the limited budgetary allocation. An illustration of what I have talked about, hopefully Initial Training Institute, how the funding allocations have been received from the Exchequer. How do we utilize it? How does it relate with our functions? How the initial presentation by CPS Susan, and these appointments pushed through so that the judges can come on board to help with the objective. And this was aimed at improving service delivery within the view of improving performance and ensuring better service delivery done. And there was need to review that so that we know what is the optimal status of the judicial staff under this revised organization structure, which if you look at...
Enough, because we have to look for the reasons behind the violence that was witnessed. That's the reason why we have brought in the key stakeholders, all the representatives of those areas, right from the grassroots, so that we can bring them to a round table to be able to discuss about issues affecting them down there. The locals have their own interests that they are pursuing, but then probably sometimes also some people take advantage of it to enhance their own interests. Sometimes some of them are political and the other divergent views in various matters of concern, to be able to deliberate and bring them to a point where they can be able to talk to one another and also air their issues. And key among the interests that the people of that area have been having, especially in Joro and Mariashani area, which is Molo, is about land ownership. That people feel that they have not gotten what they expected in terms of being allocated and also being issued with title deeds so that they can be able to utilize their parcels of land freely. The area is under caveat. So these are some of the things that we want to resolve once and for all, and also demarcate the area that is supposed to be under forest and that is supposed to be under human settlement, hoping that it will be able to bring a lasting solution to the violence in that area. Is that people are ready and willing to allow the government continue the process, and the communication that I have and the guarantee that I can give people there is that we are not keen on evicting. We know the settlement package was supposed to be for 5 acres per homestead, and that is what we are doing at the moment, although there are some people who extended beyond where the government had allocated. We are not kicking them out. Those who are in the areas that are ecologically sensitive will be shown elsewhere but may not get the exact 5 acres that others are getting. Even as we speak, the Sululu extension, some of them do not even have 2 acres. Some of them are living on a land that is around a quarter acre. It is much less than what was being allocated originally. But then we are not saying that we are kicking people out. Even those will look for a solution for them. So there is no cause for alarm. Let them allow government officers to do their work, and at the end of the day, everybody will be satisfied. And it is quite evident that high-profile political cases were prosecuted here just recently, and you didn't see any unrest because of that. I can tell you the people of Nakuru are quite aware that politics or no politics, there is need for them to coexist. And there is a higher understanding of the members of the public today that harming one another is not a solution to any political problem. But we want to sensitize our people that it is wrong to victimize somebody on the basis of the stand they take, either politically or in terms of ideology that they have. They still, our message is that they need to owe it to each other that your neighbor is your neighbor irrespective of the political stand that they hold at heart, or the ideologies that they believe in. Because at the end of the day, politics will come and go.
There is a lot of skepticism. Most of them have supported the different camps. What fear we have is that this might bring some division in the country, some political groupings, which will then rather kind of create a podium where then we hurl insult at each other. We will call upon the leadership in the country, the politicians, to refrain from negative utterances, incitements, and putting the Kenyan people into tribal corners. So we call upon the people of the top, the leadership at the top, to come to a round table and make sure that the word itself is true. Building bridges so that we are one country, one people, and one destiny should not at any cost divide us. So we are not only concerned about the possible referendum that is being talked about, we are also concerned about 2022 elections. So we are building peace when there is peace. Well, our mapping at the moment is Nakuru, Eldoret, Mombasa, Nairobi. Those are the hotspots we want to focus on as post-election violence possible areas. Here and there in the country there are some conflicts far from politics. The traditional conflict that is between tribes or clans, mostly in the pastoral world. Hearing that there was cattle theft is still going on. We have been in Marsabit for the better part of this year because of the conflict between the two communities who live there. We're getting information this morning that SLDF of Mount Elgon is also regrouping, and there was cattle theft and so on and so forth. We are working with the media, we're working with the police, we're working with DPP, we are working with Communication Commission of Kenya, DCI, we are working with the other commissions and everybody so that we deliver a very healthy baby called Kenya. So that when we are delivering the baby, we have the gynecologist, we have the pediatrician, we have the nurse, we have the mother, we have the father, so that we have a Kenyan baby that is healthy. The banditry between the Turkana County and parts of the Pokot community. There is the problem between the Gabra and the Borana in Marsabit. Then there's the SDLF, there's the rebranding of Mungiki. Of course, the Chinkororo and all those things are also alive. So we are monitoring all those things, and there are reports on each of them at any given time because our intelligence is on it. The government has been accused of not being firm for so many decades. And I think this time the government must be firm.
Jina langu ni John Lobolo Sironga. Mimi natoka kwa jamii Ogiek, Council of Elders, na tumekuwa na mikutano 3 ambao ni wa Kalenjin, Kikuyu and Ogiek communities. Tusahau kitu ambao inaleta shida. For instance, wizi wa ng'ombe ifuatiliwe kwa njia ya makini. Maneno ya shamba ifuatiliwe historically na mtu asifurushwe kama ile fiction inaendelea kwa wakati huu. Hata ingawa msitu serikali inataka iondolewe, jamii wasingatiwe, waangaliwe, waelezwe vizuri na kila kitu iende sambamba, kwa sababu ile kitu inaleta shida ni wizi ya ng'ombe katika sehemu hiyo, na maneno ya shamba misitu serikali imeondoa yao, lakini tumebaki na ile sehemu ambao watu walipaswa kupewa. Wakae kama iko shida waseme shida yao na serikali isikize, kama ni Wakikuyu, kama ni Kipsigis, kama ni jamii Ogiek. Tusilete fujo tena, na ndio tunahimiza serikali iendeleze hiyo kazi ya auditing, kazi ya resettlement na settling kwa njia inayofaa. Watu wasichochewe visivyo, kwa sababu hii ni furugu ingine ambayo italeta shida, na rumors isisikizwe.
Jina langu Kimani Maigwa, Mimi ndio national chairman of the Kikuyu Council. Now we have the issue of Njoro. Those two things, when you put them together, they might light and they might indicate something like the one which was there in 2007, 2008. To avoid all this, people have to talk, which will make us have a peaceful Nakuru County, peaceful Kenya, and of course, we avoid these people who are coming to take charge, like the Mungiki and all these other groups, which are actually they are regrouping. And we know we have already reported to NCIC, and we know that we are regrouping. To avoid all this, can we have them become Kenyan citizens like any other person? And we avoid anything that can bring us back to 2007, 2008. That's why we are here.